Hello viewer, good morning Africa, and welcome to your favorite morning show where we bring you the latest news, entertainment and everything in between. I am Abdurrahman Omar, and joining me today are the wonderful Cassandra Enombe and Memona Bagudu.
Good morning Africa, it's a pleasure to be here all day today. My name is Memona Bagudu.
Good morning to all our viewers. It's good to have you right here with us this morning, and we've got an amazing lineup for you on the show today, from exciting updates to some of the economic shifts that made waves, and then also bring you some of the political happenings. All of that happening right here on Good Morning Africa.
Of course, as we all know, housing remains a critical issue, whether it's affordability, accessibility or quality. There are ongoing issues that need our attention, and later on the program we shall be unveiling a very critical conversation.
Meanwhile, on social media, it's going to be a fully packed show, as we are going to be unveiling some of the trends that made the waves right there on social media. So please stay with us.
And in the world of entertainment, it's been an eventful week, trust me, from blockbuster movie releases to chart-topping music hits. There's never a dull moment, so stay tuned as I bring you the latest gossip, reviews and updates from the glamorous world of entertainment later on the show.
And we'll also be shifting our focus globally, where we shall be marking Zero Discrimination Day.
So basically, we've got an exciting lineup for you right here on the show. So please stay tuned and have a wonderful moment watching Good Morning Africa.
So don't go anywhere. We will be right back after the break with our first segment, Good Morning Africa.
Welcome back. It's Good Morning Africa on Housing TV Africa. Now, looking at some of the top stories that made waves in the week, President Bola Tinubu directed the implementation of the Oronsaye panel report. The Oronsaye report, named after Stephen Oronsaye, is a document that was submitted to former administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2012, and it is proposing, or it proposed, that some agencies of government should be scrapped, merged or abolished, or some of them absorbed, and this has sparked a lot of controversy so far. The report suggests ways to make operations of governance more efficient and more cost-effective. It recommends reducing the number of government agencies, merging some together and streamlining their functions. Now, basically, the goal of this is to cut down on the cost of governance in Nigeria, and it has sparked a lot of controversy from ordinary Nigerians to leaders. And just recently, the Green Chambers was proposing that before this panel report is implemented, there should be a total review. But before we give our take on this, we'll have to listen to what Nigerians, or what some Nigerians, are saying on the streets.
Well, for Oronsaye report, really there is a ministry that is supposed to be, agency that is supposed to be merged. But in my view, there is some agency that they don't need to be merged them. Because if you look at what happened during Buhari government, they say they want to reduce costs. Buhari come with, is it 43 or 40 something ministers, but Tinubu come with 49 or so. So that is a starting point. If we are really sincere, we want to reduce costs, we have to start from there. But this agency, like EFCC, ICPC, and some small within health sector, they're supposed to be much. But really, they have to start from the beginning, from the ministries. They have to reduce the number of the ministries, because if you appoint 48 or 49 ministers, it's for what? And you are talking of reducing costs. That is the starting point. But I support the idea for the government to achieve anything. Where we pray for them, because if they achieve, everybody will smile. But with the current policy on the ground, look at what happened yesterday. CBN, they released they make some adjustment in respect of, and that thing would really touch the life of the people in terms of inflation, exchange rate, and so many things. So for me, even CBN, they did not even go into detail. They're supposed to explain everything for the people. Because as this government started, they devalue our currency, which is number one problem that we have. They remove subsidy. 2 things or 3 things, they still. So that is for me, if they will listen to people, we pray for them to achieve a lot, because people will benefit, but they have to sit down and look at some program and make some adjustment, so that at the end they will achieve something.
Yeah, of course, because like EFCC, ICPC, they are doing the same work. So what is the difference? They can merge them together if that will solve the problem of Nigeria. Understand? I don't think that will solve the problem of Nigeria if they can merge them together. Not only that, there is other agency that they can merge them together.
There should be scrap, because there is nothing government can achieve. They have been there all the way, and still the country is not balanced. So what we need is they should go, so that we bring another new government again. We need a new government, you understand, but a new people that will change Nigeria. And Baba, please do something, because Nigeria are dying. You understand? We are dying of hunger.
Honestly speaking, I see no reason why it should be demolished. Why? Let them continue giving their services. Of course. It's the same thing. They should not scrap them. Why? Let them continue. Because they are giving their own quota in lifting up the country. Yeah. I see no reason why they should merge them or scrap them out of service. Why? Or do they want to cause another trouble into the country again? Apart from the one we are in now, my suggestion is, please, let the government continue. The way the government is, the setting is okay. The problem is our selfishness and greediness is too much. That's the only thing. If we will wipe away selfishness and greediness in our minds, definitely this country will be good.
Well, there you have it. I mean, Maimuna, Cassandra, when you look at it, Nigerians are beginning to wake up to pick interest in certain typical issues of national interest. I mean, while Oronsaye is a very important initiative, we can even look at it. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, when he came in, I mean, he made the Oronsaye Report. I mean, he could have taken the step forward to even think of initiating it and everything. So we can say kudos to Mr. President Bola Tinubu for taking the recognition of how important it is for us to start cutting cost of governance. But one important thing that some Nigerians believe is that when we're looking at this Oronsaye Report or trying to cut cost of governance and all of that, these leaders need to start with themselves, from themselves. I mean, we look at Oronsaye Report, we said first, we are going to start with the civil servants. Although the federal government is saying they are not going to demote or they are not going to terminate anybody. But there are a lot of things that those at the power, at the top level of government, from the Senate, reps, including the president, that they are doing, that if they are saying we need to cost of governance, they can start from there. Look at the House of Assembly. Look at from the Senate to House of the kind of billions, millions they are receiving. None of them come out and said, okay, we're going to start reducing our salaries. we're going to do this. None of them. When they, even as we were facing, during former President Muhammadu Buhari, there was high cost of living and everything. But of course, Nigerians were able to eat, one is a while, 3 times in a day. But when this time around, even when President Bola Tinubu came into power with removal of fuel subsidy, has taken toll on all of us. I mean, it's not severing anybody. They didn't come out. That didn't stop them from proposing to buy all these high luxurious vehicles and everything. And when Nigerians were showing their concern, some of these senators, what did he say? He said they need it because of the roads or something like that. They're even making joke on us when you look at it. So I think these are some of the issues. Change need to begin with them. They cannot come there and be telling ordinary Nigerian that you need to be the change you want to see, when the leaders themselves are not being the change they want to see in the country. And they need to lead by example. Please, Mr. President or the Senate President, Deputy Senate President, somebody should welcome, stand up in that chamber and tell them we need to start cutting our salary. See, the most disheartening thing is that you look at Nigerians, go out there, see how to find a food to eat is a problem.
It's a problem.
But we have not seen anybody coming out and saying, let's cut our salary. All the millions that's coming into their pockets. They are not talking about anything. Month by month, every city. None of them said we'll begin to be having plenary without having the allowance they are receiving. Nobody come out and say all of this. But when you look at it, you begin to say ICPC, EFCC. Now when they begin to merge all of these all these agencies together, look at it. Most of the serious cases, how do they intend to deal with these cases? Because they might decide official that is coming from the ICPC, don't coming from EFCC. When you look at it, although the agencies look the same, all of them are dealing on the same different case. So you come and look at it, you said, all right, ICPC, we are going to absorb all of your staff to this. What about the cases they are ongoing? You need to sit down and say, okay, from you are going back to the so agency. You are going back to social agency. The moment you start telling him this is, if they join this ministry, he has to start reviewing. Will they be giving them enough time to make sure that they can deliver on that?
Okay, so with what you have said, yes. Mr. Abdul, you're right on track, and I would say that the Oronsaye report is a good adoption by this administration. Yes. And it will interest you to know that if we really want to look at these ministries, honestly, even without this report, we know there are ministries that are supposed to be merged together. Imagine we have 541 we used to have, or we still have, because it's not been merged yet. We still have 541 ministries. So you can imagine the budget that is being allocated to that ministry every year. And you have 2 or 3 ministries that can come together and work together. Now you gave an example of ICPC and EFCC. What are their main roles? Their main roles is to fight corruption, is to, bring the bad guys to the book. Try as much as possible to make people be accountable for their crimes. Yes. They do the same function. They work with the same function. So in the case of, they are having one case whereby the EFCC is having another case, and you're looking at it like, oh, how will they be able to work effectively? They will work effectively, trust me, if they want to work effectively, if they put their heads together. Because I see it as, you're bringing your wealth of experience from EFCC, I am bringing my wealth of experience from ICPC. We're merging it together to fight corruption and fight whatever we are meant to fight, based on what these ministries are being designed for. So I think it's a very welcome development, and it will make us save, according to the statistics they gave, it will make us save over 862 billion naira. That is huge.
All right, look at it way. We're talking about saving 856 million also. Billions also, because when they merge all of these agencies together. Have you sit to analyze, if we look into House of Assembly and their cost of government?
Yes, how much we're going to
we're going to look at. What now some Nigerians are saying is that they are not saying that Oronsaye report was a bad idea. Every Nigerian, I believe, is of the view that Oronsaye report is a very good one. But what we are more particular in seeing is that why are they not leading by example? That's the question.
Okay,
Yes.
I think I would want to say that first of all, it's very important that we clarify these are actually agencies that are going to be either merged, either subsumed, that is absorbed, or scrapped totally. And then some of these agencies, according to the proposal by this panel, some of these agencies are going to be moved into ministries. For instance, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, according to this proposal, is supposed to be relocated to the Ministry of Power. And then also NIDCOM is to be converted into an agency and transferred to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Because for some persons they are like, there is no point why NIDCOM, that is the agency that is responsible for Nigerians in diaspora, the commission that is responsible for Nigerians in diaspora, why it should be operating outside of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So according to some people, they believe that it's supposed to be that way. Now, this is my concern. It depends on who is talking about what and at when. For instance, this report has been there over the years, and I think just trying to make a research, you understand that previous governments, of course the government that the successive government after the Goodluck administration was that of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and they gave a couple of reasons why it was not possible to have implemented that panel's report at that time, and they tried to make it very convincing to Nigerians as to why they cannot go ahead with the implementation. And now we have a new president, or we have someone on seat who feels that this report or this submission by the Oronsaye panel should be implemented. First of all, when you look at the theme of this panel, it's basically about cutting down the cost of governance, ensuring that everything is streamlined. We are not having excessive money allocated for different agencies. For instance, there shouldn't be a reason why the agency that is doing something similar to another one should be receiving the same money and doing the same thing, just like duplication of duties. And this has been a major issue in Nigeria. But like I said, it's about who is doing what and at when. Now, when you look at President Bola Tinubu's government, you will discover that in the history of a modern democracy, he is presently running the largest cabinet of government. Yes, he has the highest number of ministers. And I do not know if this was the plan all along, like talking about the implementation of this panel's report, if this was what he had in mind all along. I've had the opportunity to scroll through his manifesto to see on what he has actually promised on reducing the cost of governance, because this has been a very huge part of our conversation. For the fact that it is just the 1% of our population, those who are privileged to be in the political offices, that enjoy our resources at the detriment of Nigerians. So if the president is talking about reducing the cost of governance, how true is this? So these are some of the questions that we should be asking. It's not just about saying that we are going to do it. I'm a Nigerian, and I believe that until I see it happening, it's not happening. So as much as the president has said something, how true is this going to come to pass? How is it going to happen? The how is what I'm concerned about. Now, from what we have seen so far, these are just like mostly federal agencies. So what happens to the states? Yes, I know that most times we put attention on the federal government. What is going to happen in the states? Because there are some of these states also that are facing this as well. There are governors who are not being accountable to anyone, and some of these parastatals are also duplicated. Is this also going to affect at the federating unit as well, or is it just going to be about the federal government? So these are some of the questions that we should be asking. Yes, we want the cost of governance in Nigeria to be reduced. We want a situation where unnecessary convoy is beat down. We want a situation where people who have no business in governance should not be there. People should not be paid because they have a relationship with the president or the president's wife. So these are some of the things that we are looking at. But first, the how is very important, and that is why the National Assembly, particularly the Green Chambers, they are trying to see how they can review this. But is it for the interest of the masses, or are they trying to jump in because something's about to affect them?
Look at
exactly, because sorry, Abdul, because they have come out to call Mr. President to intensively look at the report.
Yes,
and
like,
I'm wondering,
we have to review this.
What are you reviewing? Because you know that this report is saying the truth.
Okay.
And in any way, it will definitely come back to the representatives, the House of Representatives, because the honest truth of the matter is that the federal government cannot cut down their own cost and still leave the House of Representatives still running the expenses that they are running on. Then it doesn't make any sense in the first place.
Look at it this way, before we go to another topic. Some of the things we are not even particularly talking about is the fact that from the Green Chamber, whether it's Revs, whether it's Senate and all of that, whether from the presidency and all of that, one of the things we need to look at is that this cutting cost of governance could begin from the Green Chamber. Because when we are looking at the money that's there, they have allocated to themselves. Because they can review it from when they come in, they said, okay, we look at it from the previous administrations, and the House of Assembly have been receiving a lot of money, and we realize Nigeria is suffering and all of that. I believe we are going to do things different. And part of doing things different is that we are going to cut costs of the governance. I mean, there are a lot of vehicles allocated to the House of Assembly. We are going to continue using it. And pending when the economy, has been revitalized, and then we can come back and buy any kind of vehicles we want when our citizens have been fed well.
Yes.
Nobody made that statement. Nobody said anything. So when the Oronsaye report comes in, one thing that we need to look at. The Oronsaye report, they put it on top of the civil servants. They will look at it. Some salaries will be reviewed.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
All of these civil servants will be affected, one way or the other. Some will gain more position because of what they have done, some will not. Then they're looking, they're saying they will not terminate anybody. But something we need to understand is that from the House of Assembly, from the presidency, who are earning more, from the governors, from the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly and everything, they can all decide to start cutting the cost of governance from them, not from the common Nigerian. The civil servant is a common Nigerian. You can have person, even though we are saying ICPC, OFCC, they are there anymore.
Some persons would want to disagree with you. I know I had this conversation with someone before, and they asked this question that between politicians and civil servants, who do you think are more corrupt?
The civil servants.
And I actually said politicians, but I learned that day that without some of these civil servants, the politicians would not have access.
Of course.
So sometimes you see that the politicians have a way of putting their people there. And that is why now that some of these agencies will have to go, they are beginning to make a case. I'm not necessarily saying that every politician that is there is corrupt or is benefiting from the decay in the
as well as the civil servants.
But
as well.
It's like it's an entire circle, it's an entire chain. And that is why we've been hammering on the need to cut down the cost of governance. But like I said, the how, or is the president, with all due respect, just trying to play to the gallery, telling Nigerians what they want to hear? Because like I said, was this actually in the plan from the beginning? Because if this was in the plan from the beginning, the president would not have so many appointees like that
in the first place.
Yes, because if you want to have a slim government, you do not have a need to have that number of ministers. And like I said, looking at our recent democracy, the president is the one said to be operating the largest cabinet. So I'm like, is this like an afterthought, or was this there in the plan, or is he just trying to see what Nigerians want to hear?
Now look at
and how soon is he going to implement this? And from the action so far, I want to ask you, do you think that the president is going to implement this report?
Well, one thing I would say is that even when you look at it, the recent NLC strike and all of that, Mr. President came out. He was saying it's too soon for them to start acting. Why can't they give the administration a year or something like that for them to act when Nigerians are dying? You understand what I'm saying? It's a question. Nigerians are dying, so the president is telling them. Do you know? One of the things, I know we had a lot of presidents who are doing things that when you look at it, you will see, is it actually the person I voted for? Because he's doing something, you see, like in the policies and everything, no compassion. You don't see any level of compassion. I mean, we have to say it. Then you look at Mr. President coming, looking at Nigerians in the eyes and telling them, we wish there are better ways to do it. But Mr. President is still going to Egypt, Qatar, and spending money. on something like Mr. President, on something Mr. President could have done it virtually. You understand? Could have done it. There are lots of things on the issue.
If we keep on going back and forth, trust me, we have a whole
there are lots of
today.
things.
So also in the week, the Nigerian Labour Congress and its affiliate unions took to the streets to protest the economic hardship in the country. And the protest took place in major cities in Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. However, the NLC made a dramatic U-turn. That is a surprising thing for me, calling off the two-day protest on the second day.
Well, one thing I will tell you is that NLC, to many Nigerians, it has been a political, I don't know, they are just weaponizing.
That's why sometimes I'm not really freaked about them going on strike.
Honestly, with due all respect, I will look at them, the NLC, and I will say it. I used to have a respect for them. You understand? There is this feeling of respect whenever they say they are going on a strike or something like that.
I remember during Oshomole's regime when he was, the president of the NLC, the moment he comes out to say that we are going on strike, everybody panics.
Okay, so where is the respected comrade? Where is it? I think that the issue in Nigeria is about the how. I'll still say about the how, because everyone seems to know what to do except they get there.
And then when they get there, they do nothing.
Someone said something that there seems to be water, a form of water in government, where once you get there and drink that water, everything changes. No matter how much of an advocate,
in the State House.
Yes, no matter how much of an advocate you think you were, you're definitely going to change. Now, I think that the NLC, with all due respect, seems to be like that proverbial bulldog that barks without biting.
Exactly.
Because over time we've seen that they've continued to give ultimatums to the federal government. And then before now, it's not even about this government. It's not even about this current administration of President Bola Tinubu. It's about the NLC, its objectives and the expectations that Nigerians have of them. Now, some Nigerians in the past, maybe it was, if it were before, everyone would want to be there protesting. But at the end of the day, they want to ask, to what end? Because these people, they make all the role and everything, they make all the threats, but with just the snap of the finger, they go to the State House, and then you see them smiling in pictures.
For me, I think...
And the issues remain unresolved.
For me, I think the NLC have lost it after Oshomole's regime, and they need to find better ways, better measures to make the government and the people respect and listen to them, because the NLC is supposed to be a huge body for Nigerians to rely on, to fight for them. They should be the voice of the voiceless. They should be people that when they speak every single mind of every Nigerian on the streets and are out there. But it's more of political these days. You see them coming up, oh, we've had closed doors meetings and what have you, but we're still going on strike on Monday. And then we get to Monday, I'm telling you, and they're smiling. They are smiling and taking pictures, like you said. So the next question that comes to mind, are they really advocates? Are they
politicians?
Or are they politicians? So they need to let Nigerians know, so we know where to bury our heads at the end of the day, and not have this full hope that, oh, we have a body that is there that that can help us relay our message. Because as far as I'm concerned, the NLC should have a direct, or rather a close contact to the government.
Okay, well, look at it. I think when you look at the whole thing, the issue of whether, the question to be asked, whether the NLC have turned politicians or advocates, I think, some of the time we don't need to listen to what they said. We need to watch how they act. And based on their act, what they are telling us is that they are not politicians. Because it's only a politician that will come and make mouth to you, we are going on a strike, we are going on a strike, and you will see, we need change. We need to make sure they implement the minimum wage. And then one Minister of Labour brought them together and sit them together, and they say closed door meeting. They'll sit down 2 hours or something like that. Later on, they'll come out. You see, well, we have talked with the.
Welcome to
we have talked, and he is going to come out.
Everything will be fine, and then that everything will be fine. After 4 days again, you hear them coming out. bringing out a press release,
the
they are
minimum
going on
wage-
strike,
Yes,
economic hardship and all of that.
Exactly, and also what brings me to answer your question when you ask me, is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to implement this Oronsaye report? I mean, look at it. They had a meeting with the labor, with the NLC and all of that. He promised them he's going to implement their minimum wage and all of that. Has he done it already?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well,
Now,
Nigerians, has he done it? So that should answer the question you asked me, whether he's going to implement the Oronsaye report. I think Mr. President needs to know Nigerians are having hope on him, and he should not be using the excuse of telling Nigerians they just get into government. He just got into government and he removed fuel subsidy. Now Nigerians are not eating. Was it not the same policy he made? Mr. President can make another impact. Mr. President can make an impact the same way he removed fuel subsidy. The Nigerians are suffering. More of criminals in the street because they can't eat. You understand? More people knocking at your door saying they cannot eat, trying to rob you in your own house. You understand? The president, this removal of fuel subsidy, he needs to ask himself: is it bringing more issues, or is it solving it? How do you expect to revitalize an economy that the people in the country are losing hope entirely? They are becoming more disoriented, losing more faith in government. When we look at it, before they removed the fuel subsidy, a common man can be able to go to the market and come back with 1,000 and he will still smile. Now the common man cannot do it. A common man will make a budget of 2,000 naira to take him from office and come back. The moment he steps into office, he has no idea whether if that money he has in the pocket will take him back home. Because anything can happen. You might step out and they will tell you NNPC has increased fuel subsidy, the payment for fuel and all. So when you look at it, the whole thing, the issue of fuel subsidy is creating more problems that will continue to cripple the policies, and the government at the end of the day will be like, how am I going to deal with it? Because before they said there are some cabals that are benefiting from the fuel subsidy, and that's why they decided to remove it. When the cabals were receiving this money and everything, Nigerians were eating. Now they blocked the cabals. They are creating problems that the cabals also are still eating. They are still finding on.
I think
that we need to think on policy.
I think that the Nigerian problem is not as complex as those that are in governance trying to make it look. I think they try to make it look like something big, so that the masses will not have a lot of expectations. Just like you said, most of these economic problems we are having today arose from the fact that the president decided to make that one decision on the 29th of May 2023 that he was going to take out fuel subsidy without adequate provision for palliatives or other measures to cushion the after effects. Now, looking at some of these things, and we've seen that the exchange rate in Nigeria is not doing so well. And some of the issues raised by the NLC, regardless of the grudge that some Nigerians may have about the NLC or any other labor union in the country, some of these issues raised are pertinent issues. Looking at the fact that there is hunger in the land, that is what we cannot shy away from. At the moment, Nigerians are buying one sachet of water for 15 naira. So how do you, for instance, let's give an example, maybe a laborer that works for a construction site. Sometimes they take 3,000 to 2,000 naira, and they have to transport themselves, and you have to drink water. So how much are you going to buy water for a day? So imagine that you are buying 15 naira, and you have to drink water at least 5 times before
and the weather is hot.
Exactly. So looking at all of these things, the issues that are happening in the country, as much as we understand that, yes, we need to cut down the cost of governance. Is the president having the right conversations at this time? Is the president following a scale of preference to ensure that he meets the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians? Because looking at some of these issues, the NLC is saying that you need to fix our refineries. And one of the reasons why Nigeria has a need to even subsidize oil in the first place is because we do not have functional refineries. And when you look at it, why is it that the refineries that are packed off cannot be refurbished? And if they cannot be refurbished, what will it take Nigeria to have a functional refinery when one individual could build a refinery in less than 5 years?
You know, I think the problem we have, the problem we still have and we're still going to have in this country is bad governance. Till the day we decide to fix it, all of these questions that we all are asking ourselves, we're going to get an answer to it. Bad governance. You spoke about our refineries. What happened to them?
Nobody's explaining.
Nobody's explaining to us. Nobody is saying
refineries.
anything to us. Nobody is saying anything. And if we had our refineries working well, in the first place, the removal of subsidy wouldn't even come up in the first place. But because our refineries are just there, you know, they've eaten the money, they've done, you know, it's just so painful.
Look at it this way. We talk
Honestly.
about one of the things a common man could enjoy in this country was the fact that you could buy a pure water and have it. I mean, and that prevented him from taking cholera. You understand? From taking.
But trust me, cholera is going to be on the outbreak.
Look at this. Look at it this way. Look at it this way.
Because people cannot afford just normal pure water that they feel safe.
That's why I'm telling you. They are creating the problems. They think they are supposed to be problem solvers. For instance, it's kills they are bringing us. They are talking about the removal. Look at the removal of fuel subsidy. Before the removal of fuel subsidy, we were eating. Before the removal of fuel subsidy, we were safe. No more sickness and all of that. Before the removal of fuel subsidy, Nigerians can eat at least 3 square meals, even though some of them will sleep under a bridge. Understand? But now those that are sleeping under the bridge, they cannot eat. What do you want them to do? They rob others that can. See, we'll reach a point where if I'm passing by and you stop me trying to rob me, I'll tell you we're the same. They all rob us. If you don't bother, you're not. If you rob me, I'll rob you. We're the same. Because I will tell you, even the pure water, 15 naira pure water, I can't take it. How do you expect somebody to go and buy a packet of pure water at 500 naira?
Okay, let's move on.
5 children. So we can move on, but most of these issues, you understand, we can move. And honestly, do you see the move on? Yes, exactly. You see the move on is what is killing us. Because in Nigeria, we keep saying, you understand? We keep saying this Bola Tinubu is now bringing us a whole back of issue. You understand? And now we're looking at 2027. You understand? When we are not trying to make
sure. But in all honesty, I understand how we all feel, how Nigeria.
It's bad.
But if you look at it critically,
it's bad.
Tinubu did not create this problem. He met them. You know, previous administrations. If you also meet previous administrations, they will tell you that your other last administration
is the same excuse.
So it's like trying to tackle as well.
It's like inheritance of bad administration.
So should we say President Bola Tinubu could not do anything different?
Well,
he could have done
because it's just like you know that something is there. You are asking for a job because you want to do something different. So you're coming to give excuses to Nigerians that, oh, this is what I meant. This is what Nigerians.
I guess he did not envision it very, like he did not, you know, see it coming.
No, they said he was able to handle Lagos.
That's Lagos. This is Nigeria. We have 36 states in this country. Lagos is just one state.
Thank God you were able to mention that. Because I think for those that were campaigning him, they were making reference to Lagos. You understand? He said, go and meet Lagos State. See how he revitalized the economy. He has done this, that. Now the man is no longer talking. And the one that made this statement, if you ask him, you say, President Bola Tinubu shouldn't have been on this.
Okay, let's move on. We don't have time with that.
Also top in the week was the election of Prince Akintoye Adeoye as the president of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN. I mean, Prince Akintoye took over from Dr. Alhaji Ali Wamako, who has been steering the affairs of the association for quite some time before handing it over. Prince Akintoye has promised to pursue positive change. I mean, when you look at it, Prince Akintoye is taking over the affairs of REDAN at a very critical time.
Yes.
When you look at it, real estate is having a lot of issue, high cost of building materials and everything. What's your take, I mean, on how you feel he can be able to deliver what needs to be done?
Yes, I think that it's basically about putting your words into action. Yes, and so far from the outlook, just like he's promised, to ensure that positive change is brought to REDAN, not just REDAN, but the entire real estate sector. I think a lot of expectations are there from Nigerians, especially those that are operating within the real estate market. Now, there are some things that some persons would say you should prioritize. For instance, transparency in transactions. Now, if you look, apart from the fact that, I'm coming to the fact that we are having the case of the hike in prices of cement and other building materials, but I want to pick it from the fact that there is need for transparency. A lot of accusations flying up and down concerning real estate market, particularly some persons who are notorious for ruining the reputation of the real estate business. Yes, there are people who are legit, there are people who are legitimate, and I think that is where REDAN needs to come in, especially now that a new leadership is there, to ensure that some of these perceptions that people have about the real estate market are controlled. And that will start from transparency, in ensuring that there's transparency in transactions. And how is this going to be achieved? From implementing digitization, basically, ensuring that everything is digital. If it's not digital, it should go digital, so that people know what they're getting into. That transparency will ensure that there is trust. More people will have their eyes will be open to the fact that yes, this is what is in the real estate market. And of course, it's not just about making the money, it's about ensuring that people have access to functional and affordable housing. So it's going to be a lot of work, and apart from the fact that transparency is going to be there, the regulation is also very important, because like I was trying to mention earlier, almost everyone is now into real estate. Every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to go into real estate. Yes, there are people who are genuine, but there are some persons who are trying to rear their ugly heads, to ruin the profession, to ruin the business. So it's important that these persons are identified, or ways are brought out to alleviate some of these issues or take out some of these issues, so that people do not just see the real estate market or sector as a breeding ground for criminals. So there's a lot of things have been done so far, and they cannot afford to allow people who come from nowhere ruin this effort. So there are a lot of expectations, and then they need to ensure that there is functional housing for every Nigerian. There is functional and affordable housing. That is also very important, because you want to look at it that it's not just about building houses. And some persons will say the issue of affordability is still very relatable, it's still arguable, it's relative. But at the end of the day, there should be something for everyone when it comes to shelter, because that has been recognized as a fundamental right. So I think that the new president has a lot of work cut out for him, and there are going to be a lot of expectations. But he should not forget to carry people along. He was elected with an ESCO, he was elected with a team. We're expecting to see teamwork. We're expecting to see that all that he has promised to do for REDAN and the real estate sector in Nigeria is going to be there. So we want to see more of development. We want to see more of advocacy, especially when it comes to providing shelter for Nigerians.
I believe, I have sat down with a lot of real estate developers in this country, and for many of them, they are trying to do their best in terms of contributing what they can to the nation's economy and all of that. When we were talking about in terms of employment, real estate market is one of the biggest employers of Nigerians when you look at it. But the major question we should ask, that's why I said he came in at a critical time. Nigerian government, with their policies, they are not helping them to thrive. I mean, they are trying so much to make sure they can sustain the business, but they are cutting now. Some of them are losing interest, losing a hope, because one of them was telling me that there are others like them who are already taking the whole business from Nigeria to Rwanda and other countries. There's a Nigerian who feels he can employ Nigerians, build a business in his own home without taking it. Rwanda had already been in existence, but he did not go to Rwanda in the first place. He said, let me be home. Let me do my business home. Let me employ most of Nigerians, my fellow men. Let them, through me, feed their family. But what is he asking for? He did not say, government, give me capital to start the business. No. He worked to get the capital. But what is he asking? He said, make policy for me that can be favorable.
Yes,
so
of
that
course,
I can employ
of course.
But is the government making that? Is the government making it? Because let me even tell the question.
I don't know why you keep throwing the government questions to me. Like you want to put me on the hot spot.
You look more like that.
So first things first, congratulations to Akintoye Adeoye for being the current president elected the Real Estate Developers Association. Based on what my colleague have said, I am more particular about policies. Policies make associations. Policies make a country. Policy make a family. Policy makes everything. If you have the right policy in place, trust me, everything will move forward. I expect Mr. Adeoye to first things first, work with the ESCOs. Just like what Cassandra said, teamwork is everything.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes some people, when they come into office, you know, they don't want to have anything to do with the past administration. Whatever has happened between them, whatever, you have to bring them, you have to take them along, you have to bring everybody along, because you don't know it all. And that's why that word team is there, because you would have different people with different ideas, different exposures, different backgrounds. Bring everything to the table, see how you can work with these people to implement policies that will move the housing sector forward, most especially in providing affordable housing for Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering, for goodness sake. If you go out at night, you see where people are sleeping. There's this particular woman I see every day I go home at a very strategic place. It shows that she has no place to go. She has no home to call her home.
Exactly.
So these associations are being created not just for flamboyancy or, oh, we have an association for the real estate developers. No. This association was created in order to help Nigerians, help the housing sector, contribute to their own quota in making sure that the housing sector achieve a lot, most especially shelter. Shelter is very important. Yes. If you don't have shelter, Mr. Abdul, will you wake up this morning and come to work?
No.
Trust me, maybe you'll be looking for where you go and have your bath in one side, go and pick your clothes in one place. But when you have shelter, you are organized. You understand? You're organized. Your things are with you. You think well. You breathe well. You know, you do things differently. Trust me. So I expect Mr. Adeoye to work with people, seek other people's opinions. Don't just go ahead and take, you know, just bring up, think of ideas and then you keep it to yourself and then you implement it alone. No, seek for ideas. Talk to people, meet advocates, meet different people in the housing sector, and make sure that your own administration will be totally different from the past administration. So I wish him all the best of luck. I see him as a very gentle man to start with. He looks gentle. I really hope that his gentility will not affect his position as the president of REDAN. They're two different things.
Okay.
I hope so.
Well, look at it. Before we go on to another topic, I have something to say. I mean, for me, the expectations are quite clear. I mean, she made it clear, and for a lot of Nigerians who believe the association is making an impact, they're expecting something. But what we are looking at, what we want us to remind ourselves is that said business is like journalism. It's an evidence-based work. You cannot be making marks. I will do this.
Yes, I will do this. You need to show.
And one thing is that the reason why I would say that they have been doing it, because when we look at it in terms of Nigerians, level of Nigerians they're employing. Anytime a real estate is developing an estate, we can see the kind of manpower he requires to do that in terms of for laborers, for this.
No, I am not saying that. I am not saying that they are not doing.
No, exactly. Well in the real estate I'm trying to land in a place where, while we are expecting the expectations from him, let the policymakers make it easy for him to deliver. Because look at it this way. When they start to bring people-oriented policies that will help people like Prince Akintoye, they are helping themselves. Because government will come out and begin to tell you that don't depend on government to give you a job. And then we are having people like Prince Akintoye, who were even here, trying to expect something from him. And then Mr. Akintoye has the right to say, I'm not your government. He has the right to say, he said, me that is trying to help you. Our government is not making this for me. I can only do so.
I really want him to, just like what Cassandra said, I really want him to look into the authenticity of people that are coming into the real estate, because we have lots of cases of people that have been duped, you know, huge sum of money, nothing, you know, they tell you there's this land somewhere, oh, I want to do this and all that. He really needs to look at that.
And even him, he said it. He said one of the biggest challenge they are having is in terms of land administration, and that's where these quacks are able to scam other people and all of that. He said the government need to make sure, including the FHA and everything, need to digitize everything, because we're having a lot of lands. You will see they don't have title, they don't have anything, and we're having FCT who there are lands here in FCT that do not have title.
Of course.
And then administration will come in. That's where the word illegal settlements come in.
Of course.
Because you have this land, and we look at it, nobody is claiming it. People will just come there, start sheltering there, and everything. And when they develop the land, government will come and say it belongs to the government.
It's obvious there's a lot of work that Prince
exactly. You need to do, yes.
Yes, the new leadership of REDAN has a lot of work.
Yes, please let him be advocating more. Let him be sensitizing them, because you know something. Sometimes when I see it, if I see some of our government officials bringing something in, some policies that are hurting our development and everything, I'll be like, do they actually sensitize them to know the importance
that
of
is what
do they actually sensitize them?
Do they
sensitize them?
But all honesty, sensitization is very, very important.
Very
so
true.
we have to move on.
Unfortunately, we have to move on to the next segment. The Ajaokuta Steel Company continues to be a center of controversy despite its inability to become operational since its establishment, despite the huge sum of money that have been allocated to this steel company. And this particular company has been marred with decades of mismanagement, corruption, and lack of political will. Just recently, the Nigerian Senate launched a probe of the company over a $496 billion payment that was allegedly made by the federal government to one Mr. Pramod Mittal, the chairman of Global Infrastructure Holdings Limited, as settlement over contractual disputes. And then recently, the Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Awudu, said Nigeria is currently importing steel worth $4 billion annually. This represents a significant drain on Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves and, of course, a missed opportunity for domestic production and a self-sufficient economy. Why is Nigeria importing steel?
It's so
What
sad.
is happening?
It's so sad. It's so sad, Cassandra. It's so sad because Nigeria is a blessed country. If you're talking about what do you call it, iron and steel, we own it. It's part of the natural raw materials God gave to us. And I don't still understand why this Ajaokuta steel. You see, the painful thing is it still falls back to bad governance. I tell you, people that are coming out and they want to govern, they don't have good intentions, because if you have good intentions, you're patriotic, you love your country, you believe so much in your country, knowing fully well that your children will reap from this country, you will do the right thing. Exactly. You just made mention of huge sum of amount of money. And I also learned that the annual estimated per capita consumption of iron and steel in Nigeria has increased from 5 kg in 1968 to 130 kg in 2015, meaning that planning for Nigerian steel sector since started in 1958. But 50 years after, the country is yet to establish a stable iron and steel sector, despite a huge investment of over $7 billion. Now, is that not painful?
I do not know. I do not know, but there have been some allegations where some persons say that this same Ajaokuta Steel has some pensioners on its payroll. I do not know how true that is, but I'm still trying to find a way around getting the accurate information. Now, looking at this steel company, what will it take for this steel company to work? Now, some experts have said that there is nothing that can be done. We should forget about this and stop burying money into this company, because every government that comes with the hope, comes with the promise that we are going to revive Ajaokuta. When they go to Kogi State to campaign, the first thing they promise,
they use Ajaokuta.
Yes. If you vote for us, we are going to revive this company. If you do this, we are going to revive this company. But some experts have said that there is nothing that can be done about that company, that it is good as gone. So why is it that so much of money is being invested? Why is it that some settlements have been allegedly made at the detriment of Nigerians? And right now the Senate is saying they want to probe. What is going to be the outcome of this probe? Is it just to shift attention? Are they just saying it for saying sake? Are they going to speak for Nigerians to know why some of these monies that have been allocated to something that is moribund, something that has not worked over the years, since the late 70s that this establishment has been made, it has not produced anything viable for Nigeria. So why is it that we keep putting so much of investment into something that is not working? So it's a lot.
Well, to tell you in short is that that's where how they can get to corner the money and everything, because you have not seen because you have not seen any administration that comes after administration that invested so money in Ajaokuta and did not get any result, and then when another administration said, okay, I need to make sure, they'll just say we're budgeting another one.
And even with the budgeting, that moment they are telling Nigerians that we're budgeting so amount for, just be rest assured that after that announcement that money has been shared.
Exactly.
It's simple.
No, before they even made the announcement, it's already been shared. You know what? One thing somebody was telling me, one reporter that is, has been at government house and all of that. He said, when you see them coming signing deals, they have already discussed it last night.
Of course.
And they have also what they are doing is
that one is
morning,
just for.
Can you imagine that it's still happening in this country? That any of the reports that comes out in some state house, including there is this allegation that some reporters are making, they said including the state house. No reporter will go into state house and say, I have seen this, I have seen that, I have seen this, and this. Okay, comes out and he will write his own report. No, he will have to wait for them to issue their own report.
How they
based
want you to
on
bring it
that,
out.
based on that, that's when you will use to brief you on, to brief Nigerians on that report. So when you look at it, there are a lot of things we need to look at. We're not even talking about Ajaokuta State. The common paint Nigerians are making. We have manufacturers. Some MD of a manufacturer, a paint manufacturing company is telling me 95 of their additives they are using, they're importing it. What a shame. You can look at it. They're importing.
There is so much.
And I asked him, do we have all these materials in the country? He said, we do.
So why are we not, there is this notion, or should I say there is this perception that a lot of Nigerians have, or I do not know if it's okay to say a lot of Nigerians, but let me just say some Nigerians have, that anything that is made in Nigeria is inferior.
Because they made them to believe
elitist
that,
mentality has been very detrimental to our economy. I am not saying that we shouldn't have an economy that imports. There is nothing wrong with importing, because if people that were saying we are trying to sell made in Nigeria to say they don't want to buy from other countries, we will also not export, or will not also give our exports to the world. But it should be two-way. It shouldn't be a case where we are only taking and not giving to the world. We should also be giving what God has given to us. Or there's so much of abundant resources. Now when you go out of Nigeria, you discover that there is nowhere you go that you do not see a Nigerian. And that is what God has done in a way that He has blessed us with the natural and human resources. Nigerians are resourceful people, and Nigeria as a country itself is blessed with so much of natural resources. But we have failed to harness it. And just like you guys have said, corruption has been a major factor in this. So when you talk about corruption in the country, what exactly can beat down corruption? What will make corruption to go down? Because looking at Ajaokuta, there is nothing there that is big that is not. It's corruption. That is what it is. Nobody is accounting for what and when. Nobody is telling us that this was what we did, and even though we know that this company cannot move ahead, let's start afresh, or let's see how we can hold some people accountable. If the Senate can go ahead with this, that is if they go ahead with it. But if you go out there and try to sample opinions from Nigerians, they will tell you that it's a failure even before it has started. But let's give the Senate the benefit of the doubt and see if this investigation is going to come to light. If they are going to find a way around this, because it is high time that Nigeria stopped investing so much in something that has not picked up since the 70s. Since the 70s, even before some people were born.
As for me, I will tell you, I think there are no more benefits of doubt.
1958.
There are no more benefit of doubt to Senate. I think they have already taken it. They have exhausted it. You Nigerians have already. No. They have already given them their benefit.
You are trying to say that.
No. Let them prove it wrong.
Please, can we move on?
Alright, I would have loved to continue talking about this, because when you talk about Nigeria, when you talk about the issues, you can never exhaust those issues. But I think that we just have to try one day at a time, one step at a time, and it's time for us to go for a break. When we come back, we shall bring you more interesting moments right here on the show. Please stay with us.
Thank you, AIHS, for the opportunity of this exhibition. It was a nice experience. I would like to make it again.
Thank you, AIHS. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, AIHS.
Thank you, AIHS.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back. Good to know you're still there. Moving on to our next segment. And in the world of entertainment, it's been an eventful week with a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of issues happening in the world of entertainment. And first, we're going to move into the movie industry. You would all agree with me that the movie industry has been booming, but first we're going to start off with we'll look at the new movie by Tyler Perry. Have you seen that movie?
Which movie is that?
Have any of you seen that movie? Mia Culpa. Have you seen the movie?
Well, as for me, I'm a Nigerian fan. I always try to watch Nigerian movies.
It's actually okay. I know what I'm going to
do.
Okay,
I'll give you
my backward. I understand.
Please, you should. Okay, so this movie has to do with a criminal defense attorney who takes on the case of a seductive artist accused of murdering his girlfriend, but when burning desire takes hold, things got hot and dangerous. I love the fact that Kelly Rowland really depicts that. I loved her strength. I loved the way she played it. Like, you know, she's a very good actress, and she played that character so well. And it's one movie that a lot of people want to keep watching. And Tyler Perry is a great producer, trust me. Now, this movie stars Kelly Rowland as a criminal defense attorney, like I said, who took on the case of the artist, and the artist was played by Trevanta Rogers. I beg your pardon, yes. Who was accused of murdering his girlfriend. Now, this movie has stars like Sean Saga, Nick Saga, like you could go on and on and on and on. Cassandra, let's leave Abdul. Abdul is not in.
No, I have something to tell. I have something to tell you about.
Meet me later for my Netflix back.
I will do that. I won't do that. Okay, first of all, is that I've known the movies. I know the kind of director and producer
Tyler Perry is good.
While I said I actually like to watch Nigerian movies, and I also I have to keep the trend. He always said, being current is the currency of life. Let's give him that. You understand? Okay. I tried to make sure. Tyler Perry did a movie. I think the name of the movie, Acrimony. And you can look at it. I think one of the best.
If you don't know Acrimony, I'm supposed to sue you.
So even I believe I made the case. I made a wonderful presentation back then during the university days. And as mass communicators, we have to analyze some of these movies.
Like
that's a realistic thing happening. And we look at it, so it was so interesting. So when you made mention of it, I said, well, we're there.
So Cassandra, what do you have to say about Mia Culpa?
I would say that I think that movie, the title of the movie, the inspiration is drawn from a Latin word, through my fault. And just like you said, it's basically about passion, talking about romantic passion between two people, an attorney being caught in between love, lust, and all of that, and her case and everything. But unfortunately, or should I say fortunately so, the movie has been getting a lot of knocks. But I think that Tyler Perry is one to always raise his shoulders high, regardless. And I think that his movie needs all the attention it is getting, because the more people are dragging him, the more interested people are to go and check it out. So the views are increasing day by day, because everybody just wants to watch it. So,
but even at the end of the day,
I'll tell you, don't isolate me, because I'm watching Nigeria.
But even at the end of the day, even with the hype and everything, if you go back to watch Tyler Perry's movie, it's worth the hype.
It is.
For some people, feel like it is basically overhyped, and some people are like, it's Tyler Perry. And the problem is that the movie is written by him.
Yes.
It is directed by
produced by him.
But the man is just
too much.
Who knows what he wants.
Exactly.
What the audience wants.
The plight of everyday Black Americans or African Americans, as you put it, and his stories are very relatable.
Yes,
very stories that happen. A lot of his movies that we've seen, just like you mentioned, Agreement has continued to spark controversy. Even up to now, people don't know who was at fault, the man or the woman. So I think that
no. I think for what I can tell, I think what I can tell you is that Mr. Tyler Perry has always tried to make sure he can show us men the nature of women.
I don't know. He's trying to bring exactly. It can't be one way. Because look at this. He's talking about Mia Culpa.
Yes.
Somebody allegedly killed his girlfriend, and then an attorney comes there to represent him, and then one thing leads to the other, and then
they fell in love.
So it's a whole lot. These things happen every day. And just to show that no matter how much of a strong woman you think you are, or a man you think you are, you are not infallible. Yes, our emotions will always try to get the most part of us. So that is just the depiction of it.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Okay, for the record, before we move,
you still want
before people should tell us we're advertising Tyler Perry's movies, we're actually not. I mean, we are based on his movies to the reality we are living.
Exactly.
I mean, the betrayal of women, the betrayal of men, and all of that. Understand? I call it betrayal of men, so that you don't say I'm one way.
Better don't do that. You have two beautiful ladies sitting close to you, so we can easily hijack you from nowhere. Okay, so moving on, The Johnsons, a Nigerian TV series produced by Rogers of Fime, one of my favorite Nigerian drama series, is coming to an end. So sad after 13 unforgettable years. And the saddest part of it is this particular last season did not have our favorite character. That's the late Ada Ame. It's coming to an end with 10 seasons and 1,830 episodes. Well, I don't know what to say. The Johnsons has been a very remarkable family drama that has kept every family on their seat. My favorite character used to be the late Ada Ame, and also the Johnsons himself, the father of the house himself, Lucky Johnson. That TV series has been a very remarkable series. Very amazing storyline. Depicts the typical Nigerian family. Yes, you know, and it's such it was really a good movie.
Yes, and just picking it up from there, the series or the sitcom, so to say, has been a roller coaster of emotions, and with the fact that the bond that they created out of that movie or out of that series, right from set and to real life, and even to the unfortunate demise of one of the lead actors, talking about the late Adam and all of that, they still held on together and everything. I think that it's just trying to push the Nigerian movie industry to the world. You know, Nigeria has a lot to offer when it comes to entertainment, and Nigeria has been doing so much. When you look at what some of our artists, some of our celebrities, some of our actors, A-list actors and all of that are doing, and even the ones that are still up and coming are doing, you understand that the sky is big for everyone to do.
Yes.
We literally watch some people grow
in that TV series. You're right.
It's been a great opportunity. People were employed, people were given the platform to shine and everything. So kudos to the producers, kudos to everyone that made that show a reality, for all the laughter, for all of the emotions and everything. It's been a roller coaster, but we wish them well, and we hope that we'll see more of this on our TV.
And we do appreciate their consistency.
Yeah. So you watch this one, right?
I'm a Nigerian now.
That's good.
And one of the things is that one of the artists there, when you look at it, is somebody even right from growing up, unless you move in the person of when they join them together, Aki and Popo, you know all of that. So I like entirely when you look at
anytime any of them is in any of the series.
So I take special interest in it, because these are the people that our children, and we even like to watch. So coming back to have a family movie series like that is
okay. So let's move on from movies to music. Yes, very good thing to speak about. First, we're going to look at Ashake's controversy with his newly released music video titled Olimi. Now, there's this issue about Ashake, but before I come to that, I'll just narrate a little to our viewers. So, Nigerian musician Ashake's latest music video, Olimi, has triggered strong reactions, particularly from the Christian community. Now, the video features scenes that some viewers consider disrespectful and offensive to their faith. The controversy centers around depictions of the holy enchantress and Ashake, who is a Muslim and wearing priestly attire. Now, do you know what I tell people? People need to learn how to respect other people's faith.
Yes.
It is very important. We are all Nigerians, and over the years, religion has caused a lot of problem in this country. There are people that have lost their homes, due to religious riot. There are a whole lot of misconception about people not respecting other people's religion. And Ashake over some, since he started music, has been a major problem. There are certain things you don't mix with entertainment. Let's be honest. Religion is religion. Entertainment is entertainment.
Yes.
Even if you're practicing your own religion, don't bring it into the music world if you're not a gospel singer.
Exactly.
To start off with. You cannot, you cannot be, having a musical video and then you pick someone else's religion, you put it in that music video and you make, I don't want to use the word ridicule, but you mimic, you do some very funny things. Yes, it's basically ridicule. Thank you so much. It's basically ridicule. You ridicule people's religion. It's not nice. We should know how to respect people's belief, people's how people want to do their thing. Respect is reciprocal. How would he feel if anyway he has done it with his own religion? He has had a musical video, if I'm not mistaken.
Peace be unto you.
Exactly, peace be unto you. And all of that. It's not a nice thing. And if people are coming out to say that, why should you be doing this to Christianity?
Exactly.
They have every right to, because people are different. Even in practicing the religion, we have fanatics in it. People that don't play with their religion, don't play with their religion. It is uncalled for. So I really don't like what Ashake did in that musical video, and I really hope that he would see reasons as to maybe reshooting another musical video if he really wants. No, I'm being serious. Funny enough, if he wants to make a name for himself and gain more respect, trust me, he should do that.
I think
he should reproduce another musical
I remember
video. He will gain more fans with that.
I remember a time when the video did something similar, where I think it was not even his song. An upcoming artist featured him in a song, and
that thing went viral on Instagram.
Yes. And even though some persons were like, you guys are being too extreme, the video, because of the respect he has for his fans, he took down that video
instantly.
Now, I don't even want to look at this from the religion perspective. I want to look at it from the human angle, for the fact that it's one love. And like you said, respect is reciprocal. Whether it's on the religious angle or not, people should understand that whatever concerns others must be treated with respect.
Care and respect.
So whether it's about religion or not, whether it's about skin color, whether it's about religion, whether it's about the God you worship or not, you should respect people and also put their own feelings into cognizance. And that is where Ashake should have considered his fans. You might say he's established, he's already making waves, Grammy nominated and all of that, but whatever you do in the course of your career will determine how far you go. We've had a lot of of celebrities, a lot of A-list celebrities that have gone to Z because of the way they behaved or what they did in the course of their career. There are some people that have stayed at top, those that have not been cancelled and all of that, because they have tried to stay out of these controversies. So sometimes they will tell you that yes, controversy sells and all of that, but there are certain controversies that you have not be minimal. Even start in the some persons are saying he should apologize, but the music video is already there. I do not know what will happen at this point, but I think going forward, Nigerian artists should learn to respect religion, people's religion, whether Christianity, whether Buddhism, whether Islam, whatever it is. Just respect people. Whether they are worshipping stone, allow them to worship their stone and respect it.
Exactly. So now let's look at it. I believe in every reasonable and responsible country where you have movies, either movies, music, we tend to have a special agency.
Yes, who approves that music?
For enforcing
laws. That's where regulation comes in.
Because we have a censorship and there is a law of censor. You don't just do something and post it online. We're talking directly to Ashake. Ashake was not the only person that released music like that. I believe in the previous year we have the video also did exactly, where a lot of Muslims bring in terms of Islam, they are controversial saying he's dancing across. So all of these issues, are looking at it. Is NBC actually censoring this music? Yes,
you know, sometimes I feel it's not even it is a normal thing. Money intoxication. These people feel that, hey, I have this money, I have the platform. Even if I lose my fans, I have other fans in other countries that really don't care. But hey, we are Nigerians, we are Africans. There are certain things we don't play with. We have our culture, we have our values, we have our morals, we have a whole lot of things at stake here. So my advice to Ashake is, if he really loves his fans, he should respect them, respect their religion, respect their belief, and not mix music with religion. If he wants to go fully on that, he should sit down with his management team. They should draft out something better, you know, to just, they should find a way of scrubbing out this controversy, because the country is already hot. We are already in a hot, you know, we have a whole lot happening in the country, and you're coming up with things like this. Trust me, it's not really nice.
I think Mr. Omar is raising a very valid point about regulation.
Yes.
Who approved this in the first place? Now, you are trying to say that we are supposed to have the National Broadcasting Commission, and also looking at the National Film and Video Censorship Board. Where are these people?
What are they doing?
And why is this airing? Or why was this approved? Who gave approval for this video to go on? Yes, I think that with the advancement, or not even advancement, with the coming of social media or other digital platforms, one would say that it's getting out of hand. I mean, the NBC or even the NFVCB, it's out of their control at this point, because people are going to upload it regardless. They don't need you to approve anything for them to go post on all these digital platforms. But what about our TV stations? What about the TV stations airing some of these songs? So I think that when people begin to understand that there are consequences, they will be more responsible.
Of course.
And like I said, it's not just about religion. It's about respecting people, regardless of who they are, what they worship, or where they come from. So I think that for Ashake, it has happened already. I do not know if he can take down the video, but I think Nigerian artists can actually do better. They should respect their fans in return with a much recognition or much admiration that they get from some of these fans.
Thank you so much. Let's move on quickly to fashion. The weather is hot presently here in Nigeria, and one particular thing I want people to know about is, despite the fact that the weather is hot, people should know how to dress decently, still looking classy and good to go. Now, I have a problem with dressing, most especially I'm going to start with our agenda. Sorry, ladies, but I'm starting with our agenda. Yes, so it's table shaking moment. I'm sorry. That's why I'm even apologizing to you people. I am sorry, but I have to start.
Yes, you can see how we dress lightly.
I know, Mr.
I mean, in 10 minutes, in 10 minutes you can see us. I'll just get ready and come on. But when you are waiting for her, she'll spend an hour.
Okay, sometimes they say that women spend so much time and they still come out naked.
Exactly, they still come out naked. So my
She will
point
still
is,
come out. She will still come out and say, "Did I forget that?"
okay, so I have a problem with the way ladies dress these days, most especially with the weather. When you ask them, saying, "Can't you see the weather is hot?" What is the weather is hot? Auntie, cover your body. It's simple.
Exactly.
I'm not an advocate for indecent dressing.
Yes, obscenity and all that.
Exactly. You can still be all covered and still look classy.
Exactly.
You step out and people still look at you and like, man, you look good. I love what you're wearing. When you go to some offices, some banks, you see a lady sitting, you know, all her cleavages are out. And then the next thing is, oh, the weather is hot. There are outfits you can wear that will still fit the hot weather. Cassandra, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing.
I think that I think you are right on point. I know this is one conversation that some persons will feel like, oh, it's do what you want or do
You're
what
trying
makes
to
you
attack
happy.
their independence.
No, it's not an attack. I think that if we do not say it here, it will be a great form of disservice.
Of course.
It's just to say it. It's not just about we saying it because we have a privilege of sitting here. We're looking at it from the perspective that we want to raise a generation of women that understand that their body is supposed to be a temple.
Yeah.
Yes, and not exposing that body is what you should cherish. Yes, we understand the weather and everything, but as much as we are not trying to dictate to you what to do because you're an adult, it's still very important that you are moderate with everything. Because just like they say, where your freedom stops at the beginning of my nose.
Yes.
So you wearing something that is going to make my eyes uncomfortable is a discomfort to me. So you are definitely infringing on my rights. So I shouldn't have to look at your cleavage when I go to the bank. I shouldn't have to
see your thighs.
All of
And
those things.
okay, so there's this picture that came out some few days ago concerning a lady who visited one of the banks. I won't mention the name. One of the banks, and she wore I call that a mini bomb shot. Because all of her body, her backside
Everything
was out. And then people are asking questions. The bank, the security, the people in that bank, how did you attend? I will tell you, please, can you go out and dress properly? I think it's high time we need to start, you know, inculcating this thing, sounding it very well, especially ladies. You see men cover up, even in the heat, you see them wearing their suits, they are all covered up and everything. But then you see a lady exposing her body. These parts are called private parts for a reason. And they are private to you. Keep it to yourself. It's not for the public to see.
All right, I think on that note, there is one comedian, he's a Nigerian comedian, who called himself the Trinity. What he does basically is that he will go around different streets. I mean, within Lagos and some southeast, where they are the women, where the ladies.
Yes, he's always harassing them.
Yes, where the ladies. What he's doing there is because I think he got tired. No, he got tired of the fact that why are these women dressing like this? I mean, so some of these women, he will, go and be looking at, approach them and be like, why are you dressing this way? Go back home. As a stranger, I should be like, what are you doing? Who are you to tell me to go back?
The world has changed.
This is the level. Now, all of these women, they now feel like we're a democratic country and they have special independence. Even if they don't act like this, if they go to UK or any other countries, they also do the same.
Okay, fine. In the UK and all of that,
but it does not justify the fact that they should be dressing like this, because you can, even if you are dressing like this, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian,
wherever you are coming from,
man,
exactly.
If you are thinking you are doing it in order to attract men, I will tell you from my own perspective as a man, I will tell you as a man.
Okay.
I'm not a man, but men, you don't even know what men want sometimes.
Yes, you don't even know. Oh, don't even go there. Let's not even go there.
But not marry them.
But you know one thing, I had a conversation. No, to be honest with you now, Cassandra, we have some men.
Okay, let me speak for myself here.
Okay,
if
now
you are doing it to attract men like me, as a man, I'm not doing it.
Okay, now let me bust your bubble.
Yes,
I had a conversation with my neighbor 2 days ago concerning this. So I came back from work I met him close to the gate, and he was like, "Oh, you're looking good." I said, "I'm just coming back from work. It's not money." He said, "Yes, I know. That's what I'm telling you. You look good." So we're now discussing. He said, "I love the way you dress. You know, you're all covered up, but you still look very good." And I am pleased to let you know that a lot of men will go for you than the ones that are exposed on the street. And I told him, I said, not in this Nigeria. Hold on. And I told him, not in this Nigeria, because men are driven by what they see. He said, no, point of correction, not all men. That men that are driven by what they see are a different breed of men. But he's putting it to me that any man, any right-thinking man that sees me would go for me and leave the one that is naked, because every decent man wants a woman to be all covered up and keep her body.
Exactly. So now you see, now you have two men. Now you have two men.
I'm here. It's not all. Yes, it's not all. Yes, I know that it's not all.
So she's of the belief. So she's of the belief that they are complicated.
But on that hill, that it is.
But she's right. But she's right in her own way.
Did you make? Let us hear her testimony. You met the bad ones.
It's not about.
Did you meet the bad ones? Okay.
Don't shift it and make it about me.
Okay, now, Mr. Abdul, do you know that there are still men that will talk me down?
Exactly. They want the women
I have had
naked.
that experience. Is like, why? What are you covering? I'm like, excuse me, I don't understand. What are you covering? Can't you? Some will even say you are behaving like an old woman.
So I would say, to that man.
There's still some men that still want.
Okay,
there's still some men that are comfortable.
He has failed us. I will tell you. Let me say, he has failed us, because he's the same man that is going to give birth to daughters and all of that. Would you tell your daughter when she comes and dress well?
They will tell you it's a civilized word.
Look at it.
What exactly?
For a Nigeria, look at this.
What is civilization?
For a Nigeria, the civilization. Okay, look at it this way. Civilization in America is not civilization in
Nigeria.
Where you decide, where you decide. That's why we're having a problem now. Where you decide to see as an African, the American civilization is also your civilization. That's when you go ignorant. So what we're saying is that when you have this man, that when you dress well like this, he'll tell you, please go and change. Wear that bombshell. Let us go out.
And do what now?
What kind of right-thinking man will tell you? I think the economic hardship in Nigeria. I'll told you that. Anyway, I'll look at that. I'll look at that because honestly, as for me, no right-thinking man will honestly go for a woman who is indecent. How could you just look at it? If he actually loves you, he will
keep his property.
I'm coming for this explanation. I'm coming for this.
So
I like that. Okay, guys. I'll come for this tutorial. Okay, guys. So to wrap up, talking about fashion and how to dress properly. Please, we're Nigerians, we're Africans. Exactly. Just like I earlier said, we have morals, we have values, we have cultures, we have traditions.
Yes.
Ladies out there, please let's learn how to dress properly. And even the youngsters, the guys, you see a guy sagging, his boxers all out, showing bare chest and all of that. Those things are provocating. Dress properly. How you dress is how you will be addressed.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right, now moving away from that, thank you very much, Muna, for giving us all of that segment. Now moving on to another segment, bringing you some of the trends that made hits on social media. Prominent among some of the trends was the fact that a young lady left her boyfriend to go dance with Nigerian singer Omale on stage during the singer's concert, and this has sparked controversy, mixed reaction from netizens. Some persons are like, "Now, ma'am, did you man?"
As for
why? I refuse to blame.
Okay, I'm a man. Okay,
why are you not blaming
Omale allow another man's babe to go and meet him, and they were dancing?
I don't understand. No, okay, now excuse
another
me.
Question. When did women allow us?
No, not that. Now, Cassandra, you will not blame Omale. Omale is a musician. He's a star. He's a performer. He was performing. How will he know that this girl came with her boyfriend?
My question exactly.
She's a fan, just like every other fan that
he actually picked her from where she was with her guy. Now,
how will she know? How will he know? Okay.
You already said it. Okay. Devil's advocate. So
the thing there is that it's people tend to behave differently when they see the idols, so to say, the people they idolize, the celebrities they like and all of that. But I think that this one was quite extreme, because when you see the guy when he was leaving after the concert, that is the boyfriend.
I think the first thing you're supposed to ask me, I think the first thing you're supposed to ask me was that, how will I feel? Because my man's sitting here. I mean, maybe you haven't done it.
How would you feel? Yes.
How would you feel now? You're the only man here now. What would you feel?
She gave that. She said because she bought the tickets. So. And then some men are like, a woman, you can give a woman everything, but the one day she feeds you, the whole world will get to know about it.
It's just a mindset for me.
So you agree with that too?
No, I'm female, but I'm putting myself in
the guy's shoes.
Because looking at the video after the concert, he was leaving so dejected. You go with your babe to a show, and then the artist pulls your babe, she goes and then she's giving all of the erotic dances and everything. It doesn't show respect. Now there was a time that D'banj, a young lady went to a show with her boyfriend, I think her fiance also. D'banj went to her, you know D'banj, and then D'banj was hot. Of course, Coco Master and everything. D'banj was like, come dance with me, babe, and everything. Do you know what the lady did? Collected the mic and told him respectfully no, that she is here with her guy. And she cannot go up to it.
You know, Cassandra.
So my question now,
nobody should blame Omale.
So for the question now, so now, do you share in the idea that no matter how money, a man should not depend on a woman?
No,
it's not about dependency.
Yes, it's about character.
It's about character, and then this brings me to self-respect and respecting your man. Okay.
Yes.
I always say it that as a lady, I have self-respect for myself. You can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
The moment you have self-respect for yourself, trust me, you would give that same respect to everybody around you. Particularly when it has to do with your man. It doesn't matter. Even if you bought the ticket, you bought the clothes he's wearing to the concert, he bought whatever, it is wrong. At that moment, you have dropped down his guard as a man. You know, you have, there's this thing they'll say, you don't bring and come out outside. It's totally wrong.
Yes.
What she did was wrong and uncalled for. Forgetting that Omale is a celebrity, Omale will not stick with you, even if you feel, oh, he was a bit attracted to you based on the dancing and everything you guys shared that moment. But that was disrespectful in the first place. Why should you do that? And even if you want to, anyway.
So to all men now, don't allow her to buy you ticket and take you.
No, Mr. Abdul, that is not the
It's about
they should keep going.
They should keep buying
She has said it that it's about the woman you have.
Yeah, it's about the woman you have.
The love that lady had for her man, or the respect, so to say, is just little with a pinch of salt.
Yes.
Because how do you go about dancing? You can, Omale could have serenaded her. There is a way he would serenade her without necessarily going to do all of, you know, there was a way she was doing and everything that it was giving. I could not wait to see Omale.
Okay, so now, are you blaming Omale?
No, I'm just saying that the lady was
fun.
It was like,
as an artist,
she was already waiting for. But I think that it's, the comments are there, and we cannot have like a one shoe fitted all,
of course,
a one size fitted all perspective to this. But from whatever side you stand, what that lady did was quite disrespectful, and people should not treat others because of what they have given to them or what they give to them. Well, moving on to another controversy that made headlines was the fact that Nollywood actor and film producer Kunle Afolayan was seen with his daughter in a wonderful father and daughter moment. But innocently, or maybe what they were doing as innocent father and daughter moment, turned into a moment of controversy for some Nigerians, as they felt that the dance steps they were having were something similar to that of romantic couples. I do not know if you've seen this video.
I've seen the video, but I have one thing to say. I have seen the video, and I have one thing to say about that particular video. I feel that video was intentional.
Okay.
Yes. I feel that video was intentional because knowing fully well that Kunle Afolayan, as a producer, a director, and a Yoruba man, filled with culture and tradition, will not do that intentionally. I want to believe that. Okay. I want to make those excuses for him. I feel that that dance was not intentional. they wanted to maybe just put it out there for the same controversy thing as a star, you know, like they say, controversy will still be around them. It's part of their lives. Yes, it sells for them. Personally, I feel that dancing was not in that dancing
so maybe like
was intentional
to promote his series
exactly.
or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
All right. So at this point, we have to go for a musical break, and when we come back, we shall bring you the concluding stretch of the program. Please stay with us.
This is Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
There viewer, it's been an amazing show with the ladies, and I right here on Good Morning Africa. We hope you enjoyed the lively discussions and energizing segments. Remember, positivity is contagious, so spread some sunshine wherever you go. I am Rahman Omar.
Remember to carry the warmth and positivity you've experienced here throughout your day. I am Yumana Bagodo. Thanks for watching.
And I am Cassandra Yinabe. Thank you for watching. From all of us on Good Morning Africa, we're saying bye for now.
Bye for now.